This is my full gold stack video, but a little different. We're missing something, and we're going to also talk about security. Let's explore. For many of you, this view may look quite familiar. It is very close to, but not the same view that started my full gold stack video. But there's something missing. There's a lot of pieces missing in this view, and there's a reason for that. You may have noticed that I did another video outlining yet a final piece that was not in the original full stack video, and a lot of that has to do with security. Because how can you forget gold, right? Well, you can if you if you have to remember exactly where you put it all, and that is part of the problem with security, is accounting for every single piece and where it's stored. You see, it's not just about pulling all this gold out of a safe. It's about driving it from different locations and coming together. And where you store it in some of those locations and who you have it with is a matter that creates its own problems and issues, but problems and issues that are certainly worth it for security reasons. Why? Because security is the absolute most important thing in your life. Now, obviously, freedom is another thing, and we have freedom, and we have to weigh that balance individually. But in order to secure that freedom, you have to have security. And that's why it's so important. And that's why I'm doing this video. Because you will see on the lower left portion of your screen, there are several pieces that were not there that I had stored at a different location that I had to go back and get. It's quite an ordeal to put this all together, yes indeed. But the whole point of having precious metals is to be able to have something that you can rely on in the case of an emergency. If it's stolen from you, it's not going to do you much good. If you are a content creator and you have amassed a viewership, well, you don't know who is watching these videos. In fact, I have received many comments in my full gold stack video about people saying you're just making yourself a target by showing this. People are going to track you down. Believe me, I have thought about all of that. In fact, I thought about much of that before I even started a YouTube channel. But I have done nothing but bolster my defenses and multiple layers of security since then. It is that important. And in reality, I should have talked about that more in the full gold stack video, but I wanted to just talk about the overall message of what that was. If you've not seen that video, I encourage you to go back and check it out, because there is something, there's an important factor to this, I think, as a lesson that really is separate and apart from security. But security is something that you can never talk too much about. And in a case like this, when you have a lot of wealth in a small area, and in one location, that location becomes a target and potentially could be tracked down, which is why I remove myself from being a target by storing it in multiple locations. The vast majority, even for videos that I do daily where I show gold, I go to a different location to get it. You know, some people, I was criticized recently by someone saying, well, you know, all you do is just put a couple of coins on your screen and then record voiceover, and, you know, there's not much to it. Well, you got to go get those coins and bars from the location. That alone, it takes time and energy, especially if you're trying to think of a topic for the day. You want to find relevant pieces that match that topic. Well, it can be time consuming to go in and get it and coordinate with the individuals. Now, obviously, I have a good rapport, but nonetheless, that is one aspect of it. Now, some of you may not have the luxury of not making yourself a target by having your gold stored at home. But I would encourage you to work your best to try to find people you actually trust to remove yourself from being a security risk. Why do I say this? Because I have become a security risk. I've become a victim of theft. So has another member of this community only recently, although I don't think their precious metals were stolen. And I'm not going to mention their name, but they did post a community tab about it. And I think when you become a content creator, you do set yourself up. This is why I don't show my face. This is why I don't, give my name out. And there's so many different good reasons to be safe and secure and not share that information. And so that's you just don't want to become a target. With that being said, some people may see this and may not see the other, or see the other video, not see this video, and think that I store it all at home. And you have to be prepared for the possibility that they could come and anyway and try to take it from you while you're home. In any event, the first point of measure that you need is to have a security system, a surveillance system in place, security system that will alarm you if somebody enters through video and or motion detection that covers every inch of your property, and inside and outside, is absolutely crucial and important to think about. Multiple layers of security that's good, that can survive if the power goes out, if the internet is cut off. That's the kind of security you need, and it's worth to invest in, especially if you have gold and silver stored at home, or even if people think you have gold. But even more importantly than that, you want to protect your valuables and you want to protect your family. That's so important and crucial. And I would say, even if you don't have any precious metals, it's good to have security, because you never know. Desperate criminals may try whatever you can, especially if you've gained even just a little bit of a following on YouTube for whatever reason, or any other social media platform, or if your name comes into the paper or what have you, or if someone just doesn't like your political opinions and what have you. You want to have ways to protect yourself and your family. It's crucially important to have those levels of detection. Let me just revisit those again. It's so important. Multiple layers of security include surveillance, alarm systems, surveillance and alarm systems that can survive a power outage and an internet outage, so that if your power is cut, or they cut the internet cables that come through, you're still good to go with your security. Extremely important, so that images can be captured of any theft and individuals. Get the highest resolution cameras, night vision possible, and that's so important to have that in place. Second level, and by the way, it could be multiple layers of security to protect that on that level. The next layer of security is home protection. In other words, lots of guns, and even more bullets than guns. A gun in every room of the house, so that if you are burglarized, a gun is literally a hand reach away. In strategic locations, of course, and if you have kids, you have to think about that a lot more strategically as to where those guns are in every room of the house, including the bathroom, laundry room, mud room, no matter where, basement, all floors. Gun loaded in every room of the house, easily accessible, and strategically placed so that a criminal wouldn't think to look and stumble upon a gun to confront you with it. It's about being prepared with self-protection in that case, because you never know. Now, here is other safety tips and measures you can take to protect yourself and your stack, is to be aware of your surroundings. Wherever you are out there, even if you have a routine, look around, see who is following you, see who's driving behind you. Maybe have cameras in your car as well that you can see. Maybe take a different route home every other day, or what have you. There's all kinds of different things that you can do to protect yourself, especially if you're going to and from a coin show. Even if you're just going as a customer and not a dealer to a coin show, people see, well, hey, he bought a couple of ounces of gold. We're going to follow him home and rob it, things like that have happened. There's organized crime involved in some of these things, and you have to outsmart the criminals because they have become very savvy, and we have to be a step ahead of them. And so crimes of opportunity are what they are going to do to try to obtain your wealth that you worked hard for. Nothing is, I think, it's the lowest of the crimes possible, I think, other than crimes against the elderly and children, but even those involve theft of something, whether it be innocence or what have you. But you work hard to be able to obtain your property. And so you must do what you can to protect it. And that includes using deadly force against somebody who would dare to take your property. If they come inside your house, that is your castle, that is your domain, and they are an immediate threat. Because if they're going to take the time to break in your home and you're there, they don't want to be caught. And you're an inconvenience. Dead men tell no tales, you've heard that term say. So you must automatically assume that they are a deadly threat and take care of it then and there. So important. Security cannot be stressed enough as you as you interact in this community, as you maybe have a channel yourself, and maybe you don't show as much stuff as like what this is. And I was very reluctant to do this, as well as the full silver stack video as well too. But there's a coming point in a time where you have to there's a risk that you take in life. There's always risks you take in life. Having gold and silver is not without risk. This, folks, what you're seeing here is single party risk. And single party risk is a very important aspect of holding precious metals. No one talks about it. And in fact, we always hear about counterparty risk, but there's not much talk about single party risk, which is why security is of the utmost importance, folks. You want to protect what you have worked hard to achieve. And it cannot be stressed enough. So when you think about buying your gold and silver, even if you never ever share it with anybody else, you must work to protect it. You must work to implement measures to provide security and stability so you can rest easy at night. And it's just a shame that we live in a world where we have to worry about that type of thing. But sadly, this is the state of the world we live in today. And really, in a sense, it's been like this for a long time. It's really no different, but I think it is getting worse. I think as the economy starts to really struggle even more, I think you will find more criminal enterprises start to make their way into the society, much like what we saw during the Great Depression, which was the era of organized crime. It really sprouted out and became to the point where it became glorified with some of that organized crime syndicates and the families and the like, and it's all related around illegal activity and theft. And so it's something that is very serious and something that should be addressed and taken care of. And no matter who you are, it cannot be stressed enough again how important this is. And so this video and what I'm talking about here is the most important thing that I could ever present to you in this community. And so this video is the one that I really hope goes viral more than any other video that I've ever done on the history of this channel. And I've been in this community for 10 years. I've been a victim of theft myself, of precious metals and guns in the past because, word got out. And I didn't have it stored and safe. And since then, which was years before I even started the YouTube channel, I've started to really rethink things very dramatically and carefully. Whenever I post videos on YouTube or anything, I'm very, very careful with what I do and what I show and how I present it. Because I would not be showing any of this stuff if I didn't feel at least some level of security with what I have in place. But I'm also not naive enough to think that there aren't still some flaws and things in how I do things for security. You always have to be proactive. Think day to day what you can do to change things up to make things more secure. Because nothing is 100% secure, but you want to get at least to a high level of confidence that what you have in place is going to serve you well. And so I'll constantly be thinking, be agile in your approach to security, just as you are in your approach to wealth preservation with precious metals. Just as the variety of different coins and bars that you see on your screen here can range, so should your security measures as well too. Be creative in how you approach security. It's worth it. It's worth to think about. It's worth to spend money to make it happen, because you worked hard for the precious metals that you've obtained, and God forbid anybody try to take it from you. I want everybody out there to be safe, and that's why I'm doing this video to discuss this. And I'm glad I kept this footage from my first go around trying to record this. But all this gold here that you see comes from multiple locations brought together in this full gold stack video talking about security. So I hope you found this video informative. I hope you found it insightful and educational. And I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to all of you for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.